Next, I would like to ask you to embrace the idea of compassionate deception. You might be wondering, is she asking me to lie? Well, I'm not going to suggest that you tell the truth all of the time because I cannot see any benefit in telling something to somebody that is going to cause them a great amount of pain. A long time ago, I met Cheryl, an amazing woman who is the administrator of a memory care facility in Visalia, California. Cheryl kept an extensive file on all of their residents. Each resident's file had a document titled 100 Things We Know About Mr. Brown or Mrs. Smith or whatever the resident's name was. When a new person moved in, Cheryl would sit down with the family and find out everything she could about that person's history, where they grew up, the names of their parents, siblings, and children. She found out where they had lived and what kind of work they had done. She recorded the kinds of activities that they had enjoyed and if they had any special or unique talents or abilities. She learned about their hobbies, their friends, their memberships in professional and social organizations, and she collected all of this information so the entire staff would have a sense of who that person was before they developed dementia. Having this knowledge came in handy when Ruth, a new resident, moved in. She was a lovely, compliant woman who was gracious, good-natured, and easy to get along with. Everything was going great until she refused to go to the dining room for dinner. After a lot of cajoling, it was clear that she had no intention of joining the other residents for the evening meal. Finally, Cheryl, the administrator, strolled down to her room and came up to Ruth and said, "We're sorry that you're not coming down for dinner. I just want to know, is there a problem or is there some reason that you don't want to join the others?" And Ruth said, "Oh, no, there's no problem. I'm just waiting for Fred to get home so we can eat dinner together." Fred was her husband, and he had been dead for over 5 years. Cheryl said, "Oh, sure, of course, I understand." After their conversation, she reviewed Ruth's file, and then she talked to the staff. She said, "Fred was an active guy. He used to belong to a bowling group. He had several fishing buddies. He was on the vestry at his church. He volunteered at the library. So when it's time for dinner, let's use one of these activities as an excuse for why Fred will be late." So from that day forward, when they would go to get Ruth for dinner and she'd say that she was waiting for Fred to get home, they would say something like, "Oh, you know what? This is Tuesday. It's Fred's bowling night." Or, "Tonight he has a vestry meeting." Or, "You know what? He is off fishing with Tom and Jim or Dave. He won't be back until 9:30 or 10. So let me do this. I'll put some food aside for him, and I'll watch for him to come in. And when he gets here, I'll heat it up and ask him to sit here and eat it quietly. And then when he's finished, I'll tell him to come to bed and just be real quiet so he doesn't disturb you. Is that all right with you?" The staff used different excuses almost every night of the week. The same excuse might have worked every night, but they were willing to set aside their reality and step into Ruth's reality as if it were actually real. I think this is the kindest and most compassionate thing we can do for people who have dementia, because if they had told her every night, "Oh, Ruth, don't you remember Fred died 5 years ago?" she would be hearing for the first time every single night that her husband was dead. In my mind, there is no benefit to trying to keep people tethered to your reality if they are happy in their own. Compassionate deception is telling them what they need to hear. Is it a lie? Well, it isn't exactly the truth, but it is kind and merciful, and to me, it does not seem like the wrong thing to do. I have a dear friend whose husband is in long-term care, and he wants to go home. It's all he talks about. So I suggested that instead of telling him that she can't take care of him anymore, or that he's too sick, or that she can't deal with all of his needs, I suggested she tell him that she will take him home just the minute the doctor says he's well enough to go. If somebody's waiting for a bus to pick them up and take them home, and there is no bus or no home, tell them the bus might be running a little late tonight, but you'll keep your eyes open for it and let them know when it gets here. Depending on where a person is in their dementia, they may forget in 10 or 15 minutes. They may forget in an hour. But if you can help them be comfortable in the moment and do whatever you can to help them feel safe and feel like their needs are being met throughout the day, it may help reduce their emotional stress, which can eliminate or at least reduce some of the behaviors that seem to kick up late in the afternoon and early evening.